gentlemen, the NBA season is coming to a close. It may already be done by the time this video goes up. And today we are going to discuss every NBA playoff team's X factor. Is that their most valuable player? We'll find out. Is that their best player? I would hope not. We usually start off with the East. We'll start off with the West this time. The Oklahoma City Thunder.
I'm going back and forth between Chet and J-Dub here. I think those are the clear two. I think I want to even say J-Dub. Nah, actually, I'm going to say Chet. I'm going to say Chet Holmgren, because if Chet is able to contain the other elite bigs and, you know, that guy in Denver, which I'm not saying contain in the sense of stop him from dropping fucking 30, but if he can hold him to a cool 22, you know, cool 22 and 12 type games, if Jokic isn't lighting them up for 40, if they get that matchup, because obviously it's a 1-2 seed thing going on, they'll be fantastic. And when I'm looking at the remaining Western centers, you have the Minnesota Timberwolves without Karl Anthony Towns. You have the Clippers without really any center, Zubac, I guess. You have the Dallas Mavericks with Derek Lively. The Pelicans, ain't nobody worry about them. The Suns, Yusuf Nurkic. The Kings, Sabonis. The Lakers, Anthony Davis. And the Warriors, again, you're not worried about that 5. If Chet can be the clear number 2 big in the Western Conference playoffs, maybe Sengun makes it and puts him at 3. But if Chet can be that guy in the postseason, oh, the Thunder are live. The Thunder are very live.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. I'm gonna have to go Chet Holmgren as well on this one. I just think this is a team that struggles with physicality. That is my biggest question with them. And if he can be that solid rock in the paint for them, he's already a great defender as is. But if he can be that solid rock for them, and he could hold his own to some of these other great bigs in the Western Conference, that would be really huge for the Thunder. So, yeah. All right, let's move on. Denver Nuggets.
I mean, we say it every year, but I think it's just true. Aaron Gordon, but I'll even throw in KCP as well this time. Just the defense around the Denver Nuggets is going to matter the most. If you can have, because you know Jamal Murray going to show up at some point in time. Jamal Murray's not going to crash out in the playoffs. Jokic, come on. He's the most guaranteed bucket in terms of production in the playoffs, in my personal opinion. So I feel like the offense is sustainable with the Denver Nuggets. The defense, while I think it's just as sustainable, is going to need to be outstanding consistently, because people are slowly but surely getting this idea of how they want to score on Denver. People are already trying to doubt if Denver is going to make it to the finals, not in terms of a deep playoff run. So I think it's going to come down to, can KCP, can Aaron Gordon, more Aaron Gordon than KCP if I have to name one person, can they go on there and consistently lock up as they did last year, to be honest? If they can, I mean, I think they're going to win the shit regardless, but that's neither here nor there.
Not necessarily a specific player, but someone on their bench is going to be the X factor for them, in my opinion. I think one of the things that we did overlook with this team is just how much bench depth that they got. And I do think last year they just had a stronger 7-man rotation, in my opinion, compared to this season. They're still a great team. Obviously, they're still on pace to be a 55-57 win team. But I'm looking at the bench production on this team, and if someone can step up, I really think that would take them to the next level. That would just cover all the holes that this team already lacks, I guess. But like, if a Peyton Watson steps up, if Reggie Jackson can step up and become like a really high quality backup point, if DeAndre Jordan can turn back the clock like he does when Jokic and Jamal aren't there, I think that'd be crazy for the Nuggets. So it's one of them. It's one of them. Maybe even Christian Braun, one of them.
Yeah, that's very fair. I'm just like, you won a ring last year? Do it again.
Next up, the Minnesota Timberwolves. I am personally, is Cat coming back?
I don't know. I'm not even gonna lie. I do not know. Let's get a live check. It will be reevaluated as of March 12th. So it should be reevaluated any second, but I don't think I wouldn't place bets on Karl coming back. It's a torn meniscus. It says that he'll be reevaluated in a month from March, which is now, and he'll be expected to return in the conference playoffs. So maybe earlier on, but I wouldn't bank on it. Oh no. Oh, he might make the playoffs. Long story short, he might make the playoffs. It's literally a maybe. It's a reevaluation. They said Western Conference playoffs, not Western Conference finals. So
if Karl Anthony does come back, I personally think he is the X factor for this team. I think the second we already figured out who the one is. Thank God, right? Anthony Edwards is their one, but a secondary scoring star next to Ant. I think that would be huge for the Minnesota Timberwolves, specifically in the playoffs when the game slows down, and Cat's ability to provide you half-court offense from the mid-post area. Hell, you can just even straight up in the low-post area as well. He's a pick-and-pop threat for them as well. Essentially, like, the value that Kristaps Porzingis got on offense for the Celtics, that's Karl-Anthony Towns for the Timberwolves, if not a little bit better. And Karl-Anthony can pass too. I think he's very valuable to their team, and depending on how, number one, if he comes back, and number two, how he plays in the playoffs, especially given his bad track record in the playoffs, if Cat tees up this playoff run, I think this team could make the Western Conference Finals. For.
It's hard to argue against Karl-Anthony Towns. However, I'm going to do it. I'm going to say J-Mac is the X factor for this team. When I look at the Western Conference, I'm not going to lie. The similar reasoning as to why I think Chet is the X factor for the Thunder, in the sense of, yo, you need Chet to be one of them ones and you'll be good. J-Mac, yo, you're going to need J-Mac to be one of them ones on the defensive side of the ball. And he's capable of doing that, but he's also going to not have to be a black hole. Let's just look at the competition that they may face. SGA, who's 6'6". Denver, fair enough. I'm not going to give J-Mac the biggest assignment. Granted, he would be guarding Jamal Murray. I'd hope so, at least. Kawhi Leonard, Luka Doncic, Zion Williamson, Kevin Durant, De'Aaron Fox to a lesser degree again, LeBron James, Stephen Curry, and then Houston, I'll say for the most part, that's pretty much of Sengun and Rudy Gobert there. But for the most part, J-Mac's going to have to go through some really, really, really talented perimeter players, and then he's also going to have to be able to put the ball in the basket. Last season, he did it at a pretty efficient rate. This season, he's going to have to mirror that, but in my opinion, he's going to even have to improve at a higher volume on the offensive side of the ball, especially if Cat isn't there, because my God. But yeah, I think J-Mac is going to be huge for this team.
For the Los Angeles Clippers, God, I'm thinking in the lens of them facing Dallas specifically. Oh, that's going to be a crazy first round matchup, Sage. Oh, I'm here for it. I
have agendas that can get pushed to the Don't let Luka win that series. I'm already insufferable. You're just gonna have to unsubscribe. don't let Luka. Do not let the first time I believe Luka has genuine help on his team, he actually don't let it happen. Oh my God. All right, moving on.
And don't let it be the year two where I actually have confidence in the Clippers for Luka to actually break that curse, bro. Like, oh my. For an X Factor, it might sound Mickey, bro, but whoever the fuck is guarding Luka, you're the X Factor. And if it's not Luka, listen, you got great perimeter defenders. You're going up against a team that has great perimeter offensive players. That is going to be the X Factor of that goddamn. So Paul George, Kawhi, tee the fuck up, because Kyrie and Luka are coming your way, buddy, and you better be prepared. That is the X factor for the LA Clippers.
Yeah, for me, as funny as that is, I don't even disagree with him this time. I just think someone else is a bit more relevant, and that someone else is James Harden. I think, James Harden is the piece that this team has been missing for the past couple of years in terms of a playmaker in LA. But the bad side of LA, the bad side of the arena, bad side of cricket. But besides all the trolls aside, seriously, they've depended on Paul George to create. They've depended on Kawhi Leonard to create. Hell, then they had to stop depending on Kawhi because he got hurt again, and it went back to Paul George to create. This team has been searching for a point guard for years. They finally got it. They have two of them even in Russell Westbrook. You could argue him, but I don't think he's of that responsibility at this point in his career. Not that he's bad. You could argue he's better than Harden this year. Go for it. But ultimately, I'm going to say James Harden. He hasn't had the most highlighting, the most fantastic season. We talked about Kyrie Irving earlier in this video, and we're going to talk about Kyrie later, I assume. But Kyrie, lesser shot selection, more timely buckets, and it's worked out for him. James Harden, look at the numbers. Not as much. I don't think he's as bad as his numbers portray, but not as much. James Harden is going to need to show up in the postseason, which leads me to the elephant in the room. James Harden needs to show up in the postseason. So, yeah, James Harden's my runaway here, but who guards Luka is never getting disrespect out of me. Can't guard him. Impossible task.
Next up, the Dallas Mavericks.
For the Dallas Mavericks, for me, it was the X factor of their entire season, and it's going to continue to be. However, this one is in the positive limelight. The centers. Simply put, Kyrie and Luka are Kyrie and Luka. They're going to do what they have to do. They have their perimeter defensive lapses, I guess. Luka's an underrated perimeter defender, in my personal opinion, but underrated don't matter. You're in the postseason. I ain't gonna lie, you have to be pretty damn good, or you're going to need a fantastic front court. Now, they've moved in the right direction with Gafford and Lively, for sure. You see the night and day difference between this team prior to the deadline, prior to the season, and right the fuck now. The Mavs are live as ever. Denver, and I think it's going to still have to be a thematic theme if they want to really beat the Clippers in terms of diffing them at the 5, and then moving on to face a team like, God forbid, Denver, but even a team like Minnesota, they're going to have great front court presence, and I think that's the theme for the Dallas Mavericks here. The X factor for the Dallas Mavericks here, I'm sorry.
For me, it's going to be the shooters along the same lines with Sage, with just a different category for them. This is a heliocentric offense that revolves around Luka's playmaking, shot creation, passing, scoring. It revolves around Luka. And I think their offense opens up so much. Hell, even the opportunity for Luka to dominate opens up so much if Tim Hardaway Jr. can stay at that 38, 39 3-point percentage range. If Josh Green can stay at 40. If Derrick Jones Jr. can go from a 35 to a 37. Hell, Dante Exum has been giving them really solid minutes, and he's shooting 52% from 3 on 2 attempts, so I'm not really, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not really banking on that to be there, but Dante Exum, when the 3 ball is falling for him, I do think this team transforms into an extremely deadly team. It's Luka and shooters with Kyrie and a rim running big. So as important as the rim running bigs are, I think the shooters are just as important, because at the end of the day, 34 points, 40 points is gonna come from Luka, but a team's averages is like 110 to 120. So where is the other 80 points gonna come from? That is a really important factor in the game. Next up, the New Orleans Pelicans. I feel like for me, it'd be a really Mickey answer to say Zion, but I just do want to say I really do think the true X factor for this team is Zion, because if he goes up, and he's showing it to that superstar level, this team is completely different. But a non-Zion answer, I'm gonna go CJ McCollum. Brandon Ingram has been injured for them for the last couple of games. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be back for the playoffs, but perimeter offensive scoring threats for this team outside of Brandon Ingram is not really there. Herb Jones has made some progress. Trey Murphy's made some progress. Hell, even Zion. I don't know if y'all seen Pelicans games. Zion be initiating the offense, but in terms of a secondary playmaker from the perimeter that can create his own shot, can pass a little bit, can shoot as well, I think CJ's performance in the playoffs is going to be extremely crucial for this team. And CJ's been just an extremely underrated player throughout his career. So I'm going to go CJ.
Yeah, I'm mad that you went first this segment, because that one guy is going to have a field day thinking I copied you here. But nah, not at all for your final result. You had me in the first half, gang. It's Zion. What? Ain't no Mickey. I take it. It is Zion Williamson. This is his first postseason appearance. That's already damning enough to consider him as the X factor. If that's not enough for you, okay. As Souls mentioned, Zion's averaging 5 assists this year. Zion is low-key trying to work on that bag, and we're going to see how that playmaking bag translates to the postseason. Zion's not the biggest shooter, so how is Zion going to work in a half-court set? There's many things that point back to, how will Zion play? I've seen Brandon Ingram. I've seen CJ McCollum. Granted, on smaller sample sizes for BI, but I've seen a lot of those archetypes even. But I ain't seen Zion in the postseason yet, especially a Zion that's in the mode of trying to get better. He's doing things at an efficient level right now. Perhaps not as efficient as 2021. That was stupid efficiency, right? But he's doing things at an effective level right now. But I'm not gonna lie, when shit gets intense, when it's about, hey, you get 4 games, I ain't gonna lie, I need to see it. My answer is Zion Williamson here, and it's not in a slanderous way. It's literally everything depends on this guy. Literally.
Next up, the Phoenix Suns. Would it be Mickey for me to say health? Fuck it. I'm gonna keep it Mickey if I didn't keep it Mickey enough for the last one. It's health, bro. It is health. This team has been battling injuries throughout the whole season. I've been telling y'all they sacrifice a lot of that for star power, and when that star power is not there because of injuries, then at that point you just gave up shit for free, okay? So if Bradley Beal, if D-Book, if KD cannot stay healthy in the playoffs, they are in big trouble. That team is revolved around that big 3 at the end of the day. They have not done as well of a job, unlike the Los Angeles Clippers, giving that type of stardom a supporting cast, because at least with the Clippers, you can say they got Norman Powell, they got Russell Westbrook, they got Zubac, they got a bunch of other players that I can name as well. But with the Suns, they got Nurkic. Nurkic is cool. They got Grayson Allen. I think Grayson Allen's important for them. But then after that, you're gonna have to start reaching for me. I ain't gonna lie. So it's the health of them three. More specifically though, probably Bradley Beal, because he's just been the most injured out of the three.
Yeah, as tempted as I am to say Bradley Beal himself, because Bradley Beal, while not being awful, one, hasn't been healthy, and two, you're just gonna need a little bit more. I'm sorry, 17 points from Beal is not gonna be enough for this team. The reason why I'm saying that though is going to reveal my answer, which is, yo, somebody got to play defense. I might even have to say Kevin Durant in particular, because I don't care about them technically being around average, slightly below average in some categories. We know what's up. We don't have to play dumb. Y'all thought it would be great when in this fucking offseason. It turned out to be, again, average to below average-ish. In the postseason, we know the Suns defense isn't going to be fantastic. I would lock everything on it. Come back to this video and talk about how they were the best defensive playoff team when it's all said and done. If it comes to it, so be it. I'll be wrong. But I know, I'm fairly confident we know what we're about to get with this Suns team on the defensive end. And if it has to go down to one player, it has to go down to the player that everybody says is the most underrated defender on the team, in Kevin Durant. Can he be the guy to help Nurkic down low? Can he get some blindside blocks? Can he just straight up, I ain't gonna lie, pull the pants up every now and then and get some stops? Because somebody's gonna have to do it. Somebody's genuinely gonna have to do it. If you don't like that answer, if that was too obvious of an answer, then I honestly will go Grayson Allen here, who has been rather well this entire regular season. He's gonna have to be just as good in the postseason. I would say they need that fourth guy to consistently put the ball in the basket, and that guy would have to be Grayson Allen.
Next up, the Sacramento Kings. I was gonna say Malik Monk, but unfortunately he suffered an injury that if he does come back, they're gonna need to go to the conference finals for him to come back. So that's extremely unfortunate. But if Malik Monk is going to be out for this team, I'm going to have to go either Keegan Murray or Harrison Barnes. De'Aaron is going to be De'Aaron. DeMontis is going to be DeMontis. But it's kind of like if the Pelicans didn't have CJ. Like, where is that secondary offensive threat going to come from? And I don't know if things have changed for Sacramento Kings fans, but I know a lot of y'all were really high on Keegan Murray going into this season as that guy that can potentially be a second or third star for this team in the future. I think he is going to need to step up with the absence of Malik Monk and show some of that. Is he actually capable of being that secondary star to De'Aaron Fox or a third complementary star? He is going to need to show up in the playoffs for me at 23 years old.
Yeah, my answer is definitely Keegan Murray here. And this isn't even in a slanderous way. This is his literal second season. But Kings fans, or really even NBA fans, sat around and said, yo, Keegan's going to be the next shooter of all time. And that's perfectly fine. I think they ain't wrong. But he hasn't looked the best, especially since February, where I believe he's like around 34% from three. Keegan's going to have to be able to put the ball in the basket in the postseason, or this Kings team is in a whole lot of trouble, especially without Malik Monk, who I will be honest, I didn't even know he was hurt. So that's crazy.
Next up, the Los Angeles Lakers. Sage, you can take this one, man. Go ahead, man.
I got like 5. Oh shit.
A lot of things need to. Nah, you gotta pick one.
A lot of things, man. All right. A lot of things. Do I go with LeBron's health? Nah, because at the end of the day, that's just kind of like
player gotta be healthy.
Star players' health. That's anything. So we can get LeBron's health out of here. Do I go with AD's health? Well, nah. Honestly, it's debatable, but of a similar limelight. However, honestly, AD's been relatively, healthy this year. I know you don't like to hear that, but he has. And if you're just waiting for the time where he gets injured to be like, see, it was the X factor. All right, that's the definition of Mickey, in my personal opinion. So we're gonna take LeBron and AD's health out of the equation. Is it Austin Reeves to be the third star? No, because I keep telling y'all, I don't think we need this third star guy. I'm tired of hearing that shit. So let's get Austin Reeves out of here. I have two options. I have Rui Hachimura and then the hamster class. If it comes down to it, as much as we do need Rui on both sides of the ball, huge impact if we're able to run a lineup of like Reeves or D'Lo, Reeves and D'Lo even, LeBron, AD, Rui, that I'm telling you, that's huge if Rui's hooping. So Rui is certainly, in terms of players, the X factor for this team, without a shadow of a doubt. But I gotta go with the hamster. I have to. I'm sorry. Darvin Ham, I don't know what it is, needs like 30 straight minutes of basketball, not real life, of like 3.5-ish quarters of basketball to make one adjustment. It is ridiculous. It is so sad to see. He'll see us. He plays prove it minutes a lot, and that's going to be my made up turn of the month. When he plays a lot of prove it minutes, believe it minutes, in the sense of like, this guy needs his moment. This guy needs to push his agenda. Yo, I do not give a fuck about him crying. I'm not gonna lie. I do not care. Play the optimal lineup. Make the bench his ass. He's sorry, but put the right person in the game. They need to play. Whatever the case may be, Ham, I don't need no personalities mattering in these rotations. I need rotations to be adjusted. And most importantly, please, I don't care that LeBron's old. I do not care. I'm not gonna lie. Thug it out, King. Retire if you're tired. My nigga, you're here. You're a top 10 talent in the league to me personally. You're a top 10 player in the league to me personally. Some motherfuckers want to kick you out. Some motherfuckers want to put you in the 5. Fine by me. Either way, he's here. He's playing basketball. Use the asset as a top 10 player. Use the asset of Anthony Davis as a top 10 defender. No, I don't want to hear these limited minutes because they're going to be tired. And then we lose the lead. We lose the 8-point lead. Now we're down 8. Now you're trying to make up for the 8-point lead. But then they're not get going. Man, I'm about to talk too much. Go ahead, so. But dog, Ham number 1. If Ham's too Mickey, Rui Hachimura for sure, because we are a whole different team when he's hoop.
I can't say anyone but Mr. Hamster Class himself. Now I'm gonna continue to rant. Not that ass, because during the trade deadline, when we was talking about what teams weakness, I forgot exactly. It might have been on the pod, bro. But I said the talent that this team needs to win a championship is already there. And we've seen it so many times, specifically in the second half of the season, that what they need to make a deep playoff run, what they need to even be a top seed in the Western Conference, it is right there. You got LeBron, you got AD, 2 top 10 players playing top 10 levels. You can argue MVP levels for AD, even though, you know, the candidates is here, not really. But
yeah, it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, and they're healthy as well. AD is having probably his second healthiest season of his career. LeBron at age 39 is still playing 65 plus games. You got D'Lo giving you 18.6 assists on 42 on 7 threes a game, 82% from the line. Austin Reeves is giving you 16, 6 and 4, 49, 37, 86. Torian Prince is shooting 39% from 3. Rui is giving you 13 points a game on 50. Like, there's so much talent on this team. It makes no sense. And when it comes to this team's success, to me, it has never been a talent thing. Yes, they could have made some moves in the trade deadline that would have made them better. Maybe address some of the weaknesses of this team, because this is not a perfect team. The same with any team in the league. When we talk about the Thunder, we talk about the Celtics, these are teams that have weaknesses. The Los Angeles Lakers are no exception. They're also one of those teams. But Darvin Ham is the key. If he can figure out how to move these chess pieces correctly, it sounds crazy to say because it's on some, no way they're about to make a deep playoff run again from the play-in. But bro, it's like you'd be lying to yourself to say that this team doesn't have that capability this year again from a talent perspective. The only reason you would say that this year is different from last year is just the first round matchup that they would face. Because I do think the Thunder are better than the Grizzlies last season. And even last season, Los Angeles was just lucky they didn't face Denver. And if they face Denver this season, that is grits. You know what I'm saying? They got y'all number. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I you don't have to apologize. We can't beat Denver, Laker Nation. It's not gonna happen. We don't have the formula that we had in 2020. Speaking of 2020, last thing, because I'll move on after this. I just want to say, you hit it on the money when we're talking about the roster. This is the best, most well-put roster. I'd even argue talented, but if you gotta be 2021 merchants, this is easily the best well-put roster the Lakers have had since 2020. Easily, in my personal opinion. And it's just a shame that it's a shame it's not translating to the wins as much as it should, bro. But as you mentioned, y'all ain't gonna sit there and lie to me. It's literally, if we don't play Denver, we can go far. And when we play Denver, all right, we going home. but if we don't play Denver, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Last team in the Western Conference, and this may not be the last team by the time this goes up.
Yeah, I'm about to say, hey, hold on, man. Give me my flowers. I've been chatting it up today, but I told you, and I'm tired of y'all telling me I don't know ball. I told you the Rockets are winning 10 straight. Now they got it. They job not finished now. Y'all over here talking about come out to play. Job ain't finished. But go ahead. You gonna talk about the Warriors. I'm gonna talk about the Rockets.
All right. Well, I'll talk about the Warriors. Steph is gonna be Steph. Draymond is gonna be Draymond, for better or for worse. And even last season, we saw it when Jordan Poole was shitting it up in the playoffs. how bad that made the Golden State Warriors. The key factor on this team is who is going to step up and be that secondary playmaker from the backcourt. Is it going to be Clay? Is he gonna have a resurgence in the playoffs or something? I don't know. Is it gonna be Chris Paul? Old man Chris Paul. Do you got one more in me? But long story short, I would just be surprised if they make it out the play-in. I'm just keeping a stack, and then they're gonna get swept by Denver or OKC. Whoever, if they make it out, like I'm sorry, bro. It's just not y'all year, bro. It's fine. Y'all had y'all run. Steph Curry. You know, I seen you crying. It's okay. It's okay to have manly tears. But it's up, bruh. The dynasty's over. It's time for the rest of the league to dominate. Y'all gave us hell for 4 years. And we gonna give y'all hell for the rest of time. Yes, sir. Yeah. Y'all gave me hell specifically. Fuck.
Mini answer, because I'm talking about Houston. I will never doubt the 6'3" light-skinned and Under Armours. He'll take him as far as he can. That guy's good. But he probably ain't beating out of them niggas. But he'll try. It ain't gonna be as easy as it'll seem, man. I'll say that. But for me, the real 10th seed, the Houston Rockets, I think this is the easiest one on the list because we have proof. People talk about the 10-game win streak. They actually won 12 of their 13. Yeah, they actually won 13 of their 14. Of these 14 games, do you know what changed? You want to take a guess? Jalen Green played sensational basketball in these 14 games. Now, I'm not asking for these numbers, but if you didn't know, Jalen Green averaged 29 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds on 50, 40, 76 from the free throw line. They lost the other night. You want to know what Jalen Green did? 5 of 15. If Jalen Green comes out here and hoops, this is an entirely different team. There's a reason why people thought the Rockets would be like an 8th seed this year. Genuinely. People saw the downfall of the Warriors. People know the Lakers are some fucking trolls. And people had the Rockets being around the 8th, 7th seed. They disappointed because Jalen Green, for the most part this season, was a guy that now you guys are even trying to jump the gun and call him a bust. If Jalen Green hoops, this is a whole different team. I'm tempted to say Sengun's defense because obviously, especially given that they be playing 1 or 2, Sengun can't guard them. GG's, what are we doing? It don't matter if Jalen Green dropped 40. But I'm going to say no. Jalen Green really changes how good this Rockets team is, and we've seen it. We don't need to talk about it. We literally have seen how night and day it is. Do I think they're undefeatable? No. But my God, they're a great team if Jalen Green's hoop.
Shout out to Phil and basketball player Jalen Green. Moving on, the Boston Celtics, who is the X Factor for the... Man, let's keep it a stack, bro. There ain't no fucking X Factor for this team. The real X Factor, I don't got my blanket on me. It is Jason Abraham. I keep on forgetting his last name. I don't know why I keep saying his middle name is Abraham. It is Jason Tatum. All right? Yeah, he got all the pieces, bro. He got all the pieces around him. And they're performing well. You know, I would like to say Derek White. I would like to say Kristaps, bro. But at the end of the day, what's going to take us not only to the promised land, but actually hoist that Larry O.B. is Mr. JT himself, not stinking it up in the clutch. Yeah, I said it. Not stinking it up in the clutch. Not going 6 of 19 from the field. Not trying to be Kobe when you could just be Bron and you can give Kyrie the ball for the last shot. Jaylen Brown. Why can't we have that dynamic? Why you gotta be everything, JT? God! It is Jason Tatum. That is the X Factor for this team. No ifs, ands, or buts. He gotta play at a tier 1 level. It is gonna take a lot. It doesn't have to even be Jokic. Just play like KD. You know what I'm saying? Can you go out there, go 30 on 52, 39, 87? That's all I need. If you can play at that level, we got it. But if you're gonna go out there and do 26, 7 and 4 on 46, 35, 83. That's not gonna cut it. That's not gonna cut it. Fuck.
You've triggered so many people with that stat line. They're like, what? That's a good game. You're missing the agenda. By the way, I agree. It is Jason Tatum. We can't get coy with it. Tatum just has to take his game to that level. We've had this conversation for years, and this is actually one of the most checkmate teams possible. This Celtics team is unironically so good, you can't name anybody else. Are you really going to sit here and name Drew Holiday and Derek White? No. No. If these niggas are walking around talking about the key to our run is Drew Holiday and Derek White, shut up. Like, I'm not going to lie, get out of here. You have Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis. Al Horford, who's been a guy that proved he can guard even the likes of Joel Embiid, which side note, Embiid, please don't come back. But yo, he can even guard Joel Embiid, let alone do you have Zinger down there. And Zinger's been hooping like he the second best player on the team. Speaking of the second best player on the team, most people still think it's Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's been hooping. Look, there is no other. This team has been literally in super team talks, if you're really in those circles. People have considered this team as a super team. Insanely talented. It's just like the Lakers, however, they win games. Insanely talented team. It's Jason Tatum. I don't need to dive too deep into it. If Derek White and Drew Holiday aren't playmaking, I need Tatum to step up and do that. If there's somebody going the fuck off, I don't care that Derek White and Drew Holiday can play perimeter defense. I need Jason Tatum to go on and do that. Jason Tatum needs to also just score the ball at, elite levels, not good levels, not, as Souls mentioned, 26 points on solid efficiency. Nah, I need Tatum to light somebody the hell up because you're Jason Tatum, dog. And it's not out of hate. I usually would slander you, and trust me, comes to the postseason, I'm not gonna lie, full-blown Lakers mode. I'm slandering Kawhi and Tatum all day, every day. It is what it is. I can't put away the bias. But on a serious note, and I promise I'm not trolling this time, if Tatum steps up, this team is deadly, like very deadly. I still don't think they could beat Denver, but that's it. And people would even say that to hate Tate. Outside of that, though, this team should easily come out of the East. No bullshit. It's up to Tatum now.
Yeah, because you're not expecting crazy passing from Jason Tatum. You're not expecting DPOY defense from this dude. And he has been a really good rebounder in the playoffs, but bro, he's not fucking Dennis Rodman, all right? He is not the number one on this team to be Dennis Rodman. You need to score at elite levels because this is why we pay you the big bucks, okay? And I'm looking at the playoffs last season, 27 points on it's funny because it's literally what the fuck I said, bro. 46, 32, 88, bro. Fuck!
Exactly! It's like he's good. Nobody's saying he's been bad. He's had some stinkers in them last games of, you know what I'm saying? But that's not here nor there. But he's not bad. He just ain't been good enough. And it's sad. But he needs to step up.
Runner-up is Joe Mazzulla as well. Runner-up is Joe Mazzulla. But moving on. The Milwaukee Bucks.
Oof. I ain't gonna lie. There's a lot of things you could mention. You could talk about just defense in its entirety. But I'm gonna die with the ship, man. Dame and Giannis gotta get that shit together. And I know seems like we're harping on star players here. Promise you the East isn't just gonna be a star player merchant here. But I don't understand how it ain't work. And when I say ain't work, they're obviously winning games. They're obviously the second seed in the East. But dog, and I know that what everybody expect. When we seen Giannis, ex-Dame Lillard, on them little tweets, all them photoshops, we was like, oh shit, that's gonna be generational. And it just hasn't been. It's been cool. I don't even know if they're like a top 5 duo. Unironically, in terms of talent, they're numero uno. They're numero uno. But in terms of like production, then that's not supposed to be the case. I trust that come postseason, Dame's going to be huge for this team in terms of slowing the game down, half-court offense. I think Dame will actually flourish in the postseason, but he is the X factor for that reason. And if you don't want to put it all on Dame, fine. Put Giannis in there as well.
Yeah, I think we'd be lying to ourselves to say anyone else but Dame. They felt comfortable enough to give Drew Holiday for Damian Lillard. And we know, and we're seeing it even still, how valuable Drew Holiday is to the success of that team. Chris Middleton is coming back from injuries, and he is still not the same. I don't give a fuck what you tell me. He has played better in the second half of the season, but Chris Middleton is aging. Those conversations of him being the number 2 to Giannis, it just can't be. So when Giannis is playing at MVP levels, we got to look at you to really step up. Because I would love to say point of attack defense is the X factor from this team, but that's like expecting good defense from Trae Young. If Trae Young becomes a great defender, then I guess he's the X factor. All right, damn, my bad. But it's like, all right, this is the given backcourt. I can't just tell y'all to become Tony Allen out there. But what I can possibly expect from y'all, that's pretty reasonable, is for Damian Lillard to be an extremely valuable player for this team offensively in the playoffs. For a team that's been so reliant on Giannis offensively, when that bag ain't bagging, when he's looking like Angel Reese out there. Nah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Oh my. Not too much on Big Reese, man. Bullshit call.
But yeah, when the run and dunk man, Al Horford is right there. I can't run and dunk anymore. There has to be a guy that says, wait a minute. Sidestep. Yeah, you need some bag work on a team, man. I'm sorry. And then you gotta get into your bag. You know, I don't want to get into my bag about bags, especially after when LeBron pod again. But you know, I think it's necessary for team success to a certain degree. And Dame, you gotta get into your bag.
Oh man, he got his shit off on that segment, y'all. He got his shit off.
I was like a 3-1. Yeah. All right, next up. The Cleveland Cavaliers.
Ooh, the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm still on Darius Garland. I still think Darius Garland is a person that we had entirely different viewpoints of him a season ago. And I don't care. Well, actually, nah, it ain't the same. Maybe it's aura check, maybe it's statistics, maybe it's eye test. Whatever it is, it's not the same feel. Donovan Mitchell's gonna literally die trying to perform well for his team in terms of putting the ball in the basket. But when you're depending on Evan Mobley and Jared Allen to be on the court, somebody got hoop. And if you're asking Don to drop 50 on some bubble shit again, you're going home. This team is very talented. I just think that they have two of the same guy, 4 of their 5 spots, and that's just not gonna work. But hey, it can. If Dame and CJ get hot, if Darius and Don get hot, they can contest with anybody, especially with a front court like that on the defensive end. So my answer is definitely Darius Garland. I don't think it's that complicated.
It's him or Evan Mobley. This is like, imagine if the Thunder and like J-Dub and Chet just stayed at the rookie levels for like 2-3 more years. It never improved. Like I like if that's Dick Suck, that may be Dick Suck.
That's a little wild, but go for it.
I'm looking for that next superstar, that secondary superstar next to Donovan Mitchell. And there's 2 prime candidates. It's Darius Garland or Evan Mobley. And I need one of y'all to step up. I don't really care who it is. Like Say says, he's more on the DG side. I personally think Evan Mobley may be a little bit more valuable to this team offensively if he can step up and become a more versatile offensive player himself. But what's up, bro? Step up.
No, that's fair, because if Evan Mobley was able to give these guys even post touches or just an interior presence on the offensive side of the ball, yeah, so that's fair.
All right, moving on. The New York Knicks.
Julius Randle. It sounds like a meme, but I'm serious. Julius Randle, he's been actually just straight up good this regular season, in my personal opinion. However, Julius Foulius is a nickname for a reason. Come postseason, you know JB gonna hoop. You know Tom gonna have them boys running all day. But if Julius Randle's out there putting 4 stinkers up, 5 stinkers up, and oh my God, here comes the 6th one. Oh, did he really be bad the whole series? Yes. Nah, you're not going anywhere. We need Julius Randle. It's time for Julius Randle to elevate his play. No, but seriously, Julius Randle needs to elevate his postseason play. There's probably a more legitimate answer, but I'm not giving it. It's Julius.
Yeah, I think the easy answer is Julius, but I guess just to shine light on other players, I think if/when OG comes back, OG is going to be really important to this team. He was their big acquisition this season. They gave up RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley for that guy. And RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley were important players on this team when they were on this team. So yeah, OG Anunoby, I think his value defensively being, because you're gonna go up against Paolo. If you make it through Paolo, you're about to go up against Donovan Mitchell. You're about to go up against Dame. You're about to go up against the 2 J's in Boston. So perimeter defense is gonna be important for Eastern Conference teams in this playoff run if you want to make it deep. And outside of OG, they got Josh Hart, but after that, it gets kind of shaky when it comes to perimeter defense for me. Now, this is a great defensive team for other reasons. This is just a very physical team. They got good rim protection, in my opinion. Good size from every position. But if OG can step up defensively, and he's giving you like 15 points a game as well, so it's not like he's not valuable offensively as well. He could be a secondary offensive player next to Jalen Brunson if Julius Randle continues to stink it up. You know, who's that next guy stepping up? It may be OG. So I'm gonna go OG. I'm gonna go OG for the Knicks.
They also just got Mitchell Robinson back, so you need something out of him too by the time playoffs start.
Next up, the Orlando Magic.
Woo, this is like unfair because they're overachievers. But in terms of the X factor for them, I might even go a guy like Suggs, as weird as that sounds, because at this point, offensively, they are what they are, and it's
not good.
They are what they are, and it's so I'm like, okay, defensively, double the fuck down. Everybody lock the hell in. And if Jalen Suggs can establish himself as that guy defensively, that'd be huge. and or if Jalen Suggs can help somebody put the ball in the basket. Because I think Franz and Paolo going to get theirs. Maybe that's a little crazy. It shouldn't be. But I think Franz and Paolo are actually going to hoop, but they don't have a third guy, in my personal opinion, that will consistently put the ball in the basket enough. And I think if Jalen Suggs is that guy, either to an insane level defensively or even a balanced level on the offensive side of the ball, that'd be huge for him.
Yeah, I think for me, it's just playmaking from the point guard position and just playmaking in general. Like, I understand Paolo is good, but you're expecting way too much from second-year Paolo from a playmaking perspective, and Franz, to be honest with you. So if that's going to come from Jalen Suggs or Cole Anthony, Cole Anthony was a guy just 2 years ago was capable of giving you 6 assists a game. I don't know why he just decided to be 6-man like Lou Will this season and not really pass the ball as much. But
all shots, good shots.
yeah, but if he can provide some passing off the bench when they need it, when it's starting to get stagnant offensively, that would be huge for the Magic. But I think for the Magic, they're one of those, okay, this season is already a dub for y'all. Let's just see what y'all can do in the playoffs type shit. Like, I'm not expecting them to do anything crazy.
W scouting report. I like rebuilds like this over constant tanking. Side note.
Next up, the Indiana Pacers.
I mean, everybody's defense. If I got to pick somebody, I guess Miles Turner, but the answer is everybody defensively. I still believe that this is the worst defensive team in the postseason. I still believe that, hey, if they didn't score the ball that damn much, this is the worst defensive team in the league. I just think their best defensive play is literally the other team's inbound play because they can't push the break. You just scored on them. I am not a fan of this team's defense at all. Statistics sort of back me up as well. I could obviously go, well, Tyrese is the guy that has to. Nah. At this point, again, I'm not going to be the guy to ask Tyrese to do literally everything if he's already established that he's not on that 1A tier of player. Tyrese going to get you 20 and 11. Cool. And then who's the next guy? You brought over Siakam. I honestly keep forgetting he's there. You have Miles Turner. I honestly forgot he didn't get traded. So, like, at the end of the day, you name some of these guys in the front court and you're like, they're supposed to be good. And they're not. I need defense all around. If I have to name a specific person, Miles Turner. You've been the guy that's been anointed as perfect on every team, and some people don't even think you're good defensively anymore. So there's that.
I think they're similar to Orlando, where it's like, okay, this is y'all season, good shit. On to the next one. Like, I don't care what y'all do in the playoffs, to be honest. Maybe Siakam, yo, bro, like, I don't know. You're supposed to be this dude next to Tyrese that's about to take this team to a whole new level. Like, I just need more out of you, I guess. I don't know. Next up, we got the Miami Heat.
I know I said playoff Jimmy in a certain video, but is it playoff Jimmy? They ain't doing shit if Jimmy ain't hooping like that again, so it might be playoff Jimmy, especially given that he's actually been hooping in the regular season this time, and it ain't been enough because you need him to be playoff Jimmy. So it might be playoff Jimmy. If it can't be Jimmy, the obvious one that people have been saying for literal years, Hero is there, but I'm actually going to say Bam because people have had conversations, and I've even introduced those conversations of, yo, Bam might be the number one guy there. And like, but Bam is really, really, really good. And if he can continue to prove that, that'd be huge. If Bam is the one guy that, yo, and if he going against Jokic, I know Jokic got him last time, but hey, they don't get much better than that nigga. So I'm just saying, when I'm thinking of championships, I'm thinking of playoff matchups. If Bam Adebayo can be an imposing threat against the majority of these playoff teams, he's my answer. But to be honest, he's really the 1B. My 1A is actually just Jimmy Butler taking that leap that we kind of talked about Tatum with earlier. But in this sense, clearly much more needed because Jimmy's been good. He just hasn't been good enough to win them games.
Man, I'll tell you the real answer. It's a guy we can't even detect right now, bro. So, like, who is this year's? Who is this year's Caleb Martin, bro? Who is this year's Max Strus? Who is this year's Gabe Vincent? Let me look at the bottom of this roster list, bro. Maybe it's a Nikola Jovic. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be hilarious.
Maybe it's John. Jaime's supposed to be my pick, but he's playing too well to be considered that guy. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Kevin Love, he might turn back the clock.
I was gonna say, yeah. My hot take is gonna be a turn back the clock situation. I think Patty Mills and K-Love gonna be them guys. I don't know what it is. Some telling me that Patty and K-Love is just gonna turn back the clock. And I know what y'all saying. See, they're not hooping, but that's the fucking point. That's the point of what Souls is saying. It's always just somebody that for some reason for these 4 games they hooping. And then the worst part is, Souls, it's not even the same nigga every series. Next series is gonna be like Hami.
Yo, I'm telling you, this team fucking pisses me off, bro. Because everyone's just saying, bruh, I mean, they relied so much on the outlier shooting playoffs last season, they can't do it again. And I'm looking at the 3-point shooters this team got. Jimmy shooting 41% this year, first of all. Tyler Hero shooting 40. Terry Rozier is 33, but we know when Scary Terry gets hot, he's capable of it. He's capable of it. Duncan Robinson is shooting 40. Caleb Martin is shooting 36. Josh Richardson is shooting 35. Haywood Highsmith is shooting 40. Patty Mills is Patty Mills. Yeah, I see he's shooting 21%, but Patty Mills is still Patty Mills. Jovic is shooting 41. Kevin Love is shooting 35. Bro, I'm telling you, you say that they can't do that shooting again. Okay. All right. Okay. That again, it's one of the I bet. Miami, I get it now, bro. They be doubting you, but sometimes the only thing you can do is I bet. And then when that shit happens, I told you so. But yeah, man. Shout out to the Caleb Martins of the world, man. Next up, the Philadelphia 76ers.
This is the easiest one that we've done today. Because if they don't have Joel Embiid, I'm gonna be blunt. I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. I can't make me care about the maxi Sixers going against the other 7 teams we mentioned. I'm sorry, it's over. It's cooked. Maybe Tyrese wins the battle of Tyrese's. That's it. But the answer is definitely Joel Embiid's health, because I mind you, I don't want him to play. But if he's going to play, then how healthy is he? Because if Joel Embiid is healthy, the game has been changed, ladies and gentlemen. The game has been turned upside down. You got a fantastic matchup against Boston in the sense of, guess he'll just have to fuck and beat up again.
Whoa. 86ers with a beat in the first round.
Whoa. That is not sweet. I don't care what no Boston fans tells you. That is not sweet at all. So that's a crazy first round matchup. Hell, even in Milwaukee, Giannis will be one of the better matchups for Joel. First round, that's crazy. But obviously, if he's at like 50%, dog, to be honest, he shouldn't even be out there if he's 80%. I don't want Embiid to play because I want to be a good human being, not because I don't like Joel Embiid. I know some of y'all think that's a hate take. No, I don't want Joel to get hurt again, bruh. That Warriors game is literally like, I don't know if I saw that with y'all or with my friends in a PlayStation party. That game was scoringly bad. Fuck the Twitter clips. This dude couldn't turn. Dude couldn't jump. It was bad. I've never seen somebody look hurt without being diagnosed as hurt. And God knows how long. That was bad. So if he's not ready to go, I don't care. If he is ready to go, then it's obviously him.
Call it ducking, man. I need the Bulls to tee up, bro. I need to. Cause, bro, AC about to be either Miami, the Sixers with Embiid, which they wouldn't have been an A seed if Embiid was fucking healthy, but apparently he's coming back. And then apparently the Hawks got our fucking number now. Give me the Bulls.
Beat the Hawks. What the fuck is going on with that? What? How?
I got a cope answer, but y'all not gonna like it. It's cool, man. We can move on.
Yeah, go ahead, cope. Go ahead, cope, because we skipped this.
Okay. The cope is, first off, we didn't have Drew Holiday and Derek White. You know, that backcourt without backcourt defense. Damn. All right, they cooked us.
Couldn't guard him with Tatum. Cool.
Oh my God. All right. Next up, the second loss, less inexcusable. We was experimenting on defense, man. Like, we didn't need to switch Kristaps on DeJounte that much. You know what I'm saying? These are filler games now, you know? Just testing shit out, because we can.
Aha. So they was Dexter-ing it up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. Sixers fans, if you really are so triggered, honestly, yeah, you're gonna have to be. I can't. I can't act like there's an X factor.
It's Tobias Harris.
Yeah, I'm about to say, does Embiid play or does he not, bro? Like, come on, let's be honest.
Man. Speaking of a team I generally don't care about, it's the Chicago Bulls. Like, can we skip them? I don't care, bro.
I mean, in terms of making the play,
like, what is the Chicago Bulls X factor? Lose. How about that, bro? Fucking lose. God.
The X factor is the lottery. The X factor is, do you jump from pick 10 to pick 5? Do you jump from pick 5 to pick 1? That's your X factor. If I must name a player, the GOAT, Alex Caruso. If he can lock up Trae Young, you might make it.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to go on a crazy Cinderella run, DeMar DeRozan, I guess, I don't know, bro. I guess.
No. I didn't asking you to dive into this. I was talking about winning a playing game. No. Their whole X factor, the lottery. I'm not playing. Hope you jump. Stop. Like, I ain't gonna lie. If there's a team I think should be tanking, hit the goddamn button, please.
And last but not least, the Atlanta Hawks. What is Atlanta's X factor?
I mean, Trae Young's defense. I know.
I think for me, they just got some players that can step up defensively. That I think if they do step up defensively, this is a completely different team. That being DeAndre Hunter and Clint Capella. If those two, and Jalen Johnson, to be honest, like I think Jalen Johnson got potential as well. If those three guys step up defensively and play defense that we just didn't see in the regular season for X, Y, Z reason, maybe the pace was too high in the regular season, we slowed down in the playoffs, y'all could lock in a little bit. And DeJounte Murray. I don't know why I forgot about DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray is capable of playing good defense. So yeah, they got some players that could play good defense. The offense is already there, in my opinion. The offense is already there. They have the 8th best offense in the league. Even without Trae Young, I seen it firsthand. They operate good on offense, but can you stop a bucket with this team is the question. It'll always be the question.
I disagree with you, and this probably is the most inconsistent thing I've said this video. Dog, the defense ain't gonna happen. They had the names. I don't know what it is about ATL, Magic City, whatever the case may be. Them boys trolling. They ain't gonna play no defense. So you know what? Hot take. They ain't shooting good enough for me. I had to look it up. I don't know if this part made the clip, but I literally said I need the stats to make sure I'm not tripping here. They're not shooting good enough for me. They're 14th in efficiency from 3. Trae Young shooting 37%. DeJounte Murray shooting 36%. Bogey shooting 38%. Jalen Johnson 35%. DeAndre Hunter shooting 40%. God knows he ain't the best shooter on this team. Sadiq Bey shooting 31%. I'm not gonna lie. Let me be honest. I need that to go up, because y'all not gonna beat nobody like that. Y'all don't guard nobody. I'm gonna need to see the best shooting team in these offs to be you motherfuckers. Otherwise, you're out. Oh shit, it didn't get the effect. Otherwise, you're out. And that's the game. You know what I'm saying? I need the Hawks to be on 50 from 3. So unironically, I don't believe in their defense so much so I'm going to say 3-point shooting. And that goes for anybody. If I have to name a specific player, Sadiq Bey, because the fuck he's shooting 31% from 3 for.
And with that being said, that is the X factor for every playoff team. With that being said, like, comment, subscribe, type shit. And we'll see
you. Yeah, you're the X factor for this channel. You're the X factor for this channel in 300K, man. Can we hit 300K by the end of the year? Question mark, question mark.
With that being said, we're out, man. Peace.